Hello, Wake Up New Zealand, Sakey speaking. In the 1960s, the World Health Organization introduced international health regulations for the world. Now, since then, these international health regulations have been amended. They were amended in 2005, so now we have the UN International Health Regulations of 2005, which are legally binding upon all countries. So these legally binding international regulations are an instrument of international law. And as I say, they replace the 1969 first adopted IHR. I'll call them IHR. So this is about detecting, making sure surveillance systems, laboratories can detect potential threats of diseases, viruses, etc., to assess, work together with other countries to make decisions on public emergencies. So to report specific diseases, any potential international public health emergencies through participation in a network of national focal points, to respond to public health events. Potential public health events. International health regulations include specific measures for countries, like at airports, ports, ground crossings, shutting borders to limit the spread of health risks to neighbouring countries, to prevent unwarranted travel and trade restrictions, and that includes the input from the World Trade Organization, the most undemocratic of all when it comes to economies. Countries to consider possible impacts of all hazards. That's all hazards, whether they're natural or not natural, accidental or intentional. So only a third of countries in the world currently have the ability to assess, detect and respond to public health emergencies. So under IHR 2005, WHO, a situation must reach 2 of 4 criteria being called an emergency for the world, a global emergency event. So they must be serious events, and those 4 classifications, criteria are that the event is unusual or unexpected, there is significant risk, there is significant risk of international travel or trade restrictions. So once there is a public health risk event in a country, within 48 hours, it is determined to be notifiable to the World Health Organization under the IHR regulations of 2005. So the country must report that to the WHO within 24 hours, no matter how and when it occurs. These diseases are always notifiable: smallpox, polio, human influenza caused by a new type or subtype, and severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS. Other potentially notifiable events may include cholera, pneumotic plagues, yellow fever, viral hemorrhage fever, West Nile fever, and others that is listed with the World Health Organization IHR 2005 regulations. Other biological, radiological, or chemical events that meet those regulations also. So since 2005, the IHR new regulations being put in place, the World Health Organization has declared the following public health events of international concern. They are the H1N1 influenza, polio, Ebola, Zika virus, COVID-19, and monkeypox. So COVID-19 and monkeypox. And remember, a big investor in the monkeypox vaccine is BlackRock. So international health regulations represent agreements among 196 countries, including WHO member states, to work together for global health security. CDC works with state and local reporting, receives information responding to events of concern, and the Department of Human Services, DHHS, take a lead role in carrying out reporting requirements of the international health regulations. So the Health and Human Services Operations Centre, that's called SOG. It's called SOC, is responsible for reporting events to WHO, CDC, and also works with FAO, which is around agriculture, and it all supports that to implement all these IHR regulations worldwide. They're all part and parcel of it. So it's the monitoring, the evaluation, providing a roadmap for assessing a country's health security capacity, identifies areas of improvement. This is composed of annual meetings of state parties for self-assessment, joint external evaluations, that's after action reviews, and simulation exercises. Remember, there was a simulation exercise before the introduction of COVID-19. So also voluntary, the simulation exercises are voluntary. The joint evaluations are used to guide the development of national action plans for health security. And then we have another system that actually then discusses and responds to the gaps that can be seen within the IHR regulations. So CDC serves as a major contribution to global public health efforts to prevent, detect, respond to international public health concerns. CDC works with partners in all stages in every international health event. So that is, they communicate with partners, collaborate, and they determine what is a priority, the resource mapping, the mobilization, and the implementation and the monitoring. So CDC have a lot of power, and they report to the World Health Organization. And these international health regulations don't just stop there, because right now, since 2020, there has been a gathering to determine a new global pandemic treaty, a first ever. Some are calling this an international pandemic accord. So you have some calling it an accord and some calling it a treaty. Now, what does this all mean? And what else does it involve that we should know about? So in my next video, I will talk this through with you and let's encourage open debate around this. It's not as simple as what I have just read out here. It's much, much more complex. This is just the surface. Wake up, New Zealand.